Sir and students. Today we have Mr. Tanay Mishra, corporate trainer, CMC, along with Mr. Abhishek. They are here to take a session on Android. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning. First of all, you all are aware of Java, I think. You boy. Yes. Yes, tell me. You know Java? So I'm just asking some question related to Java, then we start the Android. Why? Because without Java we are not develop anything in Android. Can you tell me what is Java and why we are using Java? Yes. Only one thing you know related to Java, I think. One by one, raise your hand and then you can just speak it up. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So Java uses applets. The applets are programs which need not be installed on the client machine. They can be transferred to web-based application.
Yes. Tell me you. What is Java? Why I'm not? A web-based application. You are saying it's a web-based application. I'm not asking you. And yes.
We can implement applications on web pages through applets.
Yes. You. Yeah. You can learn Java in an hour. I think you are saying. Fine. So just tell me what is Java. If I am the faculty in your institute, then I can give you, because you don't know Java. No one. That's why you are talking related to Java is that, Java is that. Fine. First of all, why I am asking this question? It may be possible I am not asking this question. Reason is that only due to your word of mouth, you can learn Java within an hour. Just fine. So just start on Java. What is Java? Nobody know how the Java program are compiled. Even nobody know how the Java program are compiled. It's my question. Fine. Yes. Anyone? Ma'am, I need one marker. Yes. Anyone? How the Java program is compiled? It's only a layman answer. हाँ सुन रहे हैं. Yes. One thing you must be remember I am listening all the things. Fine. So there is no need you can just tell me suno sir. Fine. Yes. You are wrong from that place. I'm just explain that thing. Just speak. source code that can be written anywhere. Fine. That source code are compiled by Java compiler. It's not only the compiler. Java C is not only one compiler. There are more than 10, 12 compiler of the Java. Java C developed by Sun Microsystem, but there are so many compiler. Fine. So first, compiler compile your source code and convert it bytecode. Now, a command called Java, that is only invoker. It's not compiler, it's not interpreter, it's nothing. It's just invocation of the class loader. There are 8 types of the class loader. Fine. One of the class loader is a local class loader, and second one is a network class loader. That is the most important part of the class loader. A local class loader and network class loader. Local class loader load if you are calling a class from the local resource. If you are calling a class from the network, then network class loader are invoked. Fine. Then Java just invoke class loader. Loader load the class into JVM. JVM run inside where?
Sir, every platform, every machine in which we are executing the.
Is it's without machine it cannot be done. It's a true. But where it can be done? Either in a RAM or virtual machine or where? Virtual machine is a part of the RAM. Fine, it's true. Now, JVM. Why in a JVM, not in a directly RAM? Why in a JVM, not directly into the RAM? Java, you are already knowing, Java is a platform independent, Java is a hardware independent, Java provides security, there are so many things. A region, Java is secure. Java provides security, hardware as well as software security both. How to apply the software and hardware security? Only from the loading. First of all, if any file, that is your bytecode, it may be possible it can be infected, or something you can write inside that. So what happened? It are treated as infected. If I load infected file into directly your memory, meaning your system memory, then what happens? It may be possible your system files are also be infected. Fine. So if files are infected, it means your system are infected, and your system, it means operating system are going to be down. It's perform lesser as compared to actual they are going to be performed. Fine. That's why Java cannot be loaded directly into the memory. First it's loaded in a JVM. Now after loading JVM, they transfer to bytecode verifier. Again, verifier have a 6 module. They are checking in a 6 layer. It's virus infected, something are writing something else except bytecode, or it's RAM leaking, means memory leakage, or it's a stack overflow. What? They are checking according to 6 layer. Fine. After checking, if all the layer are passed, then it's return true value. Otherwise, it's return false. Fine. Now, if it's return true, then security manager invoke JIT, just in time compiler. Again, it's a 3 type. First, pre, nor, and it's a 3 type of the JIT. Basically, it's compile all the code which are necessary for running your application. Fine. and then it's convert into native code and that can run. But in case of Android, what happened? Android source code that's written in a Java. Fine. After writing Android source code, it can compile by Java C. Then convert into bytecode. Then again it can be transferred to Deblic bytecode compiler that convert Deblic bytecode. That Deblic bytecode are loaded into Deblic JVM, and then rest of the process are same. Why? If it's written in a Java, then what's the need for the Deblic? Why I'm compiling that in a Deblic bytecode and it's loaded in the Deblic virtual machine? If already there are Java virtual machine is there, then what's the need of the Deblic Java virtual machine? You are writing a code for mobile. Fine. Mobile is what? It's again a device that's run through operating system. Fine. Operating system is what? If I'm asking what is program, then what you say? Fine. And where basically program can be executed in operating system, it's related to your hardware. It's a combination. Program is what? It's a combination of hardware, software and operating system. Fine. Without that you are not able to run any program, either in a C, C++, Java or Android or .NET or anywhere. Fine. So what happened in case of Android? Android basically developed for mobile application. Fine. In that case what happened? Mobile have a very limited space. It cannot be increased, it cannot be decreased if once manufactured. Is it true? Like computer, in a computer or laptop, desktop or laptop, you can increase or decrease the hardware if once manufactured, because a motherboard is separate and CPU is separate, RAM is separate, each and everything are separate. But in case of mobile, what happened? Only one board is there. Everything are inbuilt on that. Fine. So once manufactured, you cannot increase or you cannot decrease. But in that case, we need an application that is a very limited space. So first of all, Google think, why not we develop any operating system that is open source. There is no any operating system in a mobile that is open source before Android. In 2007, fine, a first time Google think for that and create one group for the manufacturing operating system that is basically for the mobile software development, and it's open source. Fine. And the logo of Android is a little bit it just look like a robot. Fine. You can see, or you can, whenever you need anything related to Android, you can just find out all the things from http developer.android.com. It's a site related to Android, and all the required material for the Android, it's on android.com. What is the feature of Android? Why I am using Android, not any other operating system in a mobile? Can you give me any some other operating system of the mobile? Name. What the drawback of the SIM? iOS is also be some drawback. Now I'm asking a drawback of that. Any of, like suppose you are using Siemens or iOS, then what's the drawback of that?
You need to buy that software.
Actually, you are whenever you are purchasing your mobile, you already buy the operating system, so you not need extra operating system. Fine. So it's not, basically it's all related to development. What happen whenever you are developing anything on for Siemens or or I.
Cost of the development is automatically transferred to the consumer who is purchasing that phone. Android is an operating system which is free to the developing company that is manufacturing handset,
Fine.
and the cost is lesser to the consumer who is buying the handset.
So good. One more thing that is very much important for the developer. If a new language that's in a market, then you must be required a person who know that language. Otherwise, what happen? No one are going to be use that language, because you cannot develop any application until and unless you don't know that application. If you know the Java, fine. Java, whenever Java comes in a market, so again a problem for the Sun, ki how we can market that, ki a person are going to be use that. So what they did, they just interlinked with operating system, and they just link with Visual Basic 6.0. Fine. So same like in case of Android, what happened? Android just, it's not linked, it's a purely dependent on Java. If you know the Java, then you very much only some topic it's required, ki how we can start the Android, how we can do the programming. If you know any one of the language, then you can easily do the Android for the development. Fine. One of the reason that, and second, in case of Siemens and iOS, it's require a very large amount of the memory at the time of development. A reason they are using HGVA, WGVA. I think you already know that name. Display card तो नाम सुना होगा I think. What is display card? AGP ये सब नाम सुना होगा I think you know that. Fine. They required a very large graphics card for developing any application in iOS or Siemens, or there are WADA or so many. Fine. But in case of Android not required a higher configured hardware. Fine. It's only run on 256K. That is 10-year back hardware, I think. Now that time, any desktop or laptop you are buying, it's a minimum 1 GB RAM is there, 1 AGP is there. Fine. So what happened? If you are going to be develop anything, then you must be thinking it's require how much hardware it's required. So in case of Android need very less amount of the hardware. Fine. And not much configured things. So that's why it's a very much popular in a market due to graphics. Fine. Due to the supportability. Fine. So what the feature of Android? First, application framework. What happened? If you are using Android, so it's provide you reusability concept. Same like a Java. Once you develop, you can use anywhere. Like suppose you are developing a calculator, and calculator is a part of the some other application, and you are using calculator in some, you are developing a application and you need a calculator of that. So what we need, just call that object inside your application. So what happened? Without developing the things, you are easily able to develop your own application. Fine. Develop virtual machine, optimized for the mobile device. It's the same like a JVM, but it's need a very less amount of the memory. Integrated browser. What happened? Again, a Java drawback is what? Java don't have any browser. Java provide a browser that is only for the testing. Any one of the, what's the name of Java browser? I think Applet you already, Applet Viewer, but it's only for the testing. It's not actual. Whenever you are using Java in any client machine, then you are not using Applet Viewer. Fine. In that case, you must be need a JDK. So it's only for the testing purpose. But in case of Android itself have an integrated browser. Whenever you are using Android, it's open a own browser. So there is no need to, you can load a browser for just browsing any application of the Android. Now, optimized graphics powered by a custom 2D graphics library, 3D graphics based on the OpenGL ES 1.0 specification, that is the latest one. Fine. You can use 2D, 3D, all the things. Now, there is no any mobile operating system that have inbuilt database capability. Android is the first operating system that have an inbuilt database capability. Whenever you want to be store any data inside your mobile, then it's loaded inside SQLite. That is basically developed by Google for the mobile application, and that is the part of the Android where you can store your all the data. If I'm using SQLite inside Android, so what happen? Whenever you need all the contact list, all the data of the mobile for transferring one place to another place, so what we do? Normally we are not able to transfer our contact. Is it true? Mobile ke through you are able to transfer all the files that stored in a either mobile or your chip. But in case of contact list, if you want to be transfer all the contact list, so how we can transfer that? We can first copy inside our chip or mobile chip, that is basically supplied by your ISP. Fine. But in case of Android, what we do? We can directly transfer all the contact lists. If I am using Android, a region, all the contact lists are stored inside database, and that database name is what? Contact. So whenever whenever you want to be just change your mobile, so a problem is what? We are not able to transfer our contact from one mobile to another mobile. So how we can transfer? We can directly transfer through the contact. Media support. Android support all the type of the media. MP4, H264, MP3, AAC, AMR, JPG, PNG, GIF, all the type of the media. They are supporting GSM telephony. GSM means, I think you already know, GSM and CDMA, there are two technology. Fine. So Android support both of the technology, CDMA and GSM both. Bluetooth, Edge, 3G and Wi-Fi, hardware dependent, but it's totally dependent on hardware. It supported all the three things: camera, GPS, compass, accelerometer, all are a part of the Android. Like suppose you want to be develop any application that just display where you are. So how we can develop that? By using GPS. Fine. Like suppose you want to be just capturing your image. A normal what happen in case of mobile, whenever you are capturing image, it cannot be cleared or you are not able to edit that. It's a little bit facility you can just create one just a border line, all the things. Nothing. There is nothing more than that. But in case of Android, you can easily edit your image as well as your sound. Fine. Environment. Environment is what? Basically, if I provide you a new environment for the developing, so what happen? Most of them are just using a more time for just how we can learn all the new environment, each and everything. But in case of Android, there is no any Android environment that is fixed. You already know Eclipse, I think, NetBeans, or there are so many environment, and you can use any one of them. Fine. But most of the cases, in case of Android, we are using Eclipse as an environment. Why Eclipse? Because Eclipse have so many facility. Fine. That's why we are using Eclipse as an environment for the Android. Then Android architecture. Android based on Linux kernel. Linux kernel. What is kernel?
Driver who actually executes.
Fine. Or kuch?
It is a collection of drivers that
Basically what happened? if I'm using window kernel, in that case what happens? It can be dependent. Linux kernel are not dependent to hardware. It's not dependent to any operating system. Kernel have so many things that's already inbuilt inside that. Basically, kernel is a communication between, you can say, your application and hardware. Fine. So why Linux kernel? Why not any other operating system kernel in case of Android application? Because I'm saying it's use a very less amount of the hardware. Fine. So what happen? Whenever you are going to develop any application, so you need all the drivers are installed in your machine. All the facility which are, like, suppose you want to use Google Map. So what we need? In case of internet, you can directly use the Google Map. But whenever you are using your mobile application for the development of the Google Map, so what we need? We need a Google library. Fine. But in case of Linux kernel, what happened? They are already inbuilt Google library. If you want to develop any camera related application, so we need all the camera drivers. But in case of Linux kernel, it's already inbuilt that place. So not only camera, Google Map, there are so many things that are already part of the Linux kernel. That is what? Display driver, camera driver, flash memory driver, binder, keypad driver, Wi-Fi driver, audio driver, power management. Most important part of the any operating system, that is what? Power management. Power management is what? How much power you require for the running that application. Like suppose I am using amplifier. Fine. Amplifier need extra power supply. It's true. But in case of Android, what happen? If you have a USB drive, then you can easily transfer that power through your mobile. Because for the amplifier, they already have a separate power management tools. They can easily supply the power for just provide a sound. Fine. Now, basically what happens whenever you are developing any application? So application is what? Yes. Why I am using application in Android? Why we are going to be use Android application? A reason. First, graphics. Second, sound. Third, database. Fourth, network. Fifth, Wi-Fi connectivity. Fine. So first of all, graphics. In case of development, we need a very cleared graphics inside any application. Then you are going to be use that. What happen? Like suppose you are using any website. If our website graphics are not good, so what happen? You can open first time, but you cannot open that site in a second time. Is it true?